Hi, everyone, and welcome to this session on COVID-19 and study abroad. My name is Rachel Ogletree, and I'm an academic specialist at UC EAP. I am joined by Tina Brealey, study abroad financial aid counselor at UC San Diego, Emma Holmes, UC EAP program specialist, Ben Kinman from UC EAP Finance, and Nancy Osborne from the UC EAP Health, Safety, and Emergency Response team. We've got a lot of information packed into this 15-minute presentation, so we'll move quickly. Please feel free to take screenshots of any of the slides. The presentation will also be available on the UC EAP website afterwards. We have set aside time for Q&A. So if you have any questions during the presentation, you may enter them in the chat and we can discuss them at the end. We think it's important to recognize that the outbreak of COVID-19 has been an unprecedented occurrence in our lifetimes, and we've all been affected by it. We know that for you as UC students, you've had to move to an online learning environment. You may have parents who've lost jobs and family members who have gotten sick. It's been a very challenging time. We're sure that you are waiting for the chance to get back to your UC campuses, maybe for the first time. And we also know you're really looking forward to the chance to study abroad. We are looking forward to that as well. Perhaps some of you have already applied to study abroad in previous terms and your program was canceled. We recognize how disappointing that news was for you, but please know that student health and safety is one of our priorities in any of our programming decisions, and we do not make those decisions lightly.
Let's start by highlighting some of the benefits of studying abroad through UC EAP, the official study abroad provider for the entire UC system. Studying abroad during a pandemic or at any time carries risks. UC EAP's Health, Safety, and Emergency Response Team and UC EAP employees and representatives abroad are monitoring COVID conditions in program locations, adjusting program components, and documenting rules and protocols to help you understand how to reduce the risk of contracting COVID and minimize transmission. We also offer 24/7 emergency support, so if you need to use our emergency phone number, you are always guaranteed that UCEAP staff will answer your call no matter what time. While on UCEAP, you remain enrolled in your UC campus, which means you do not need to take a leave of absence during your study abroad program, and your UC financial aid goes with you. Both UCEAP and your UC campus will work with you in the event your program abroad is interrupted. Additionally, you are guaranteed that all the courses you take abroad will receive UC credit. We will talk more about coursework and COVID disruptions later in this presentation.
In order to make programming decisions, UCEAP monitors the status of COVID-19 worldwide 24/7 through the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the World Health Organization, the U.S. Department of State, U.S. embassies and consulates, UC's contracted health and security specialists, host universities, study center staff, and local resources in countries such as government agencies and media outlets. Staff at UCEAP are continually discussing the feasibility of running our programs and if or how we can make any changes to each program that could allow it to safely run. There are several factors that impact our programming decisions, including US government travel advisories, vaccination status at the destination country, entry and quarantine requirements around the world, the status of visa processing, whether host universities are offering their programs to international students, feasibility of various modes of local instruction, such as fieldwork courses or internships, and access to healthcare.
There are several ways that we communicate information and updates about our programs to you. The COVID-19 information page is available from the UCEAP homepage by clicking Learn More on the COVID-19 and 2021 programs info box, or you can access the page directly through this web address that will be typed into the chat. On this page is an update on the status of our programs if they are confirmed canceled or moved online. Right now we have information on all summer 2021 programs, some fall 2021 programs, and even a spring 2022 program. This webpage is updated as programming decisions are made, so you can check back regularly for the most up-to-date information. In addition to program announcements, you can also find links to resources such as the WHO, CDC, and DOS. Finally, we have a section with answers to frequently asked questions. Some of it is more detailed than what we will be covering in this presentation, so it could provide you with additional information. The other place on the website where you can find out if programs have been canceled is on the individual program web pages on the Dates and Eligibility tab. At the bottom of the page, you will see all the available terms. If a term is canceled, that will be indicated in parentheses, like you can see here. Finally, for students who have applied or been accepted to a program, your program specialist will email you directly with updates regarding your program.
COVID-19 may continue to be a part of our lives into the foreseeable future. And with this in mind, we would like to share with you a few things you should consider as you complete your application and pre-departure requirements prior to the start of your program. Typical program activities, such as the on-site orientation, may be held online or modified for smaller in-person groups if COVID is still present and the host government limits social gatherings. Some field trips may be canceled or modified during this time because of travel and group activity restrictions. Personal travel outside of the host country is strongly discouraged and carries significant risk because if borders close unexpectedly to contain a COVID resurgence, you could be prevented from returning to your program country and have to withdraw from your program. Housing options vary depending on the program. Whatever the housing situation may be, you should make sure that you are allowed to quarantine there upon arrival or if you come into contact with someone who tests positive for COVID. Otherwise, you may need to find and pay for a government-approved quarantine facility for the length of the mandatory period. If another COVID outbreak occurs, on-campus dorms may close, so be prepared and have a backup plan. When making housing arrangements, it is your responsibility to make sure you will be able to isolate if you get sick. It may cost more, but UC-EAP strongly recommends that you choose housing where you will have your own room and bathroom. UC-EAP program specialists are available to assist you by providing housing information and important details during the pre-departure process.
While we hope for programs to run with in-person instruction, there is the possibility that course format will change and courses will be moved online or the program will be canceled. These decisions are made with your safety in mind and are determined based on government policies and information from our host institutions. Therefore, we recommend that you have a backup academic plan. If there are changes to your program, UC-EAP will immediately notify you to discuss your options. Traditionally, when you are accepted to UC-EAP, this means that you do not register for courses at your UC campus for the term you will be abroad. Currently, some campus registrars are allowing UC-EAP participants to enroll in both UC-EAP and campus courses. This is so that if your program is canceled, you don't have to scramble to find courses at your UC campus at the last minute and after everyone else has registered. If your program moves forward as planned, the UC courses could then be dropped from your record. This does vary by campus, so please be sure to check with your campus to see if this is available to you.
Depending on the program and the timeline, it may be possible for you to transfer your application or participation to a different program. You may also have the option to transfer your application to a later term for the same program. However, it is not possible to transfer an application to a different academic year. In that case, you must submit a new application in the UC-EAP portal. If the program is canceled and UC-EAP does not have an exclusivity agreement with the host institution, then it may be possible for you to enroll in the host institution directly. Direct enrollment is also referred to as independent study abroad. For programs where it is possible to enroll directly, you should be aware that you will be responsible for seeking out this option yourself and that UC-EAP cannot assist with the process. This also means course and transcript processing will not be handled by UC-EAP, so you will need to take your host institution transcript back to your campus to be evaluated for transfer credit. We cannot guarantee that you will receive credit for the courses you take. Also, you won't be enrolled in the travel insurance provided to UC-EAP participants, so you will need to make sure you have adequate coverage for medical and security incidents that may occur while you are abroad.
COVID-19 has made planning for your perfect study abroad or internship experience difficult, but it's not impossible. We want you to be able to plan with confidence. Should UCEAP cancel or suspend your program before the published program start date, all students are entitled to a full refund of UCEAP program fees, but we cannot guarantee refunds for payments made directly to a third party. Sometimes a program's method of instruction changes before the start date, and we want you to know that as part of our commitment to students and desire for you to plan with confidence, UCEAP will not charge any withdrawal fees should your program's method of instruction change prior to the start date. If you are a scholarship recipient, please know that scholarship requirements and stipulations vary by donor. Some scholarships during the pandemic have allowed students to move those scholarship funds for a different program. However, they're not required to do so. If your program is canceled, contact your scholarship provider or donor to confirm what your options are or to see if you would need to reapply. UCEAP scholarship recipients will need to submit a new scholarship application, and you can use the same application essay if you wish.
Ultimately, you need to be willing to accept additional financial risk if you plan to study abroad during the pandemic. For example, if you happen to receive a positive COVID test or you're exposed to someone who tests positive for COVID just before your planned departure, you must delay your travel. Fully refundable airline tickets are much more expensive than non-refundable, non-changeable tickets. However, most insurance companies, including the one that provides travel insurance to UCEAP participants, no longer considers the COVID-19 pandemic an unforeseen circumstance. So trip cancellation, trip interruption, and trip delays that are caused either directly or indirectly by pandemic-related events will not be covered. Having fully refundable airfare offers some financial protection if your travel plans are delayed or if your program is canceled. Ask your airline about this when you reserve your flight.
Financial aid recipients will be offered aid up to the UCEAP program budget and would include any grants, scholarships, and loans that you are eligible for. Aside from tuition and fees, program budgets include items such as estimated pre-departure expenses, room and board, books, transportation, and airfare. Financial aid can be used for these educational expenses during your program, but please keep in mind that aid may not cover additional travel-related expenses or COVID expenses should you have them.
If COVID-19 impacts the format of your program after the official start date, your options will be different, so we will outline those considerations as well. It is very important to understand and plan for local regulations and requirements regarding COVID-19. For example, some locations may require a quarantine period upon arrival, or you may be required to quarantine if you are exposed or test positive after your arrival. Also, you may have to present a negative COVID test to re-enter the US. These are additional out-of-pocket expenses that may not be included in your program budget. We try to include all COVID-19 requirements within our budgets, but some COVID-19 expenses are individual and unplanned.
It's also important to know that the travel insurance does not reimburse you for the costs Ben mentioned. It's also possible that you could be fined for not complying with local COVID containment measures, such as remaining in quarantine for the required amount of time or for violating a mandatory curfew. In Spain, you could be fined between 60 and 600 euros, depending on the severity of the violation. In other countries, violations could incur jail time. UCEAP staff will guide you, and it's critical that you follow instructions so that you don't put your health, the health of your fellow program participants, or the health of the local community members at risk. If you do get COVID-19 while you're abroad, please inform the UCEAP Study Center or system-wide staff as soon as possible. Your host university will likely have a protocol in place to reduce the chance of transmission to other students, and you'll need to follow their instructions and government protocols to protect others. If you're experiencing symptoms, you should seek medical care. Expenses resulting from medically necessary treatment will be considered for insurance reimbursement according to the policy terms, conditions, and exclusions. Medically necessary just means a treatment or service that's required to treat an injury or illness and is prescribed by a licensed medical professional.
In terms of academics, you should also let your course instructors know that you will not be in class. Depending on the program, the instructors or host university may have protocols in place to accommodate your absence so that you can keep up with the work. The UC EAP academic specialist can also inform you about other academic exceptions you may request, such as additional pass/no pass grading options. In the event that a program's format changes, such as moving from in-person to online, or the program is canceled, UC EAP will be in contact to determine next steps. If it is not possible to continue with coursework, UC EAP academic specialists will reach out to discuss the disposition of your academic work. We will report final grades for any coursework you have completed and Ws for all unfinished coursework to your campus registrar. If it is possible to continue with coursework after the format change, you may do so. If you no longer wish to continue with the program after the format change, you have the option to withdraw, and UC EAP will outline for you the financial and academic outcomes related to program withdrawal. Depending on the timing of the program cancellation, it might be possible to enroll in courses at your home campus for that term, but we would discuss this with you.
UC EAP program fees are generally non-refundable if we cancel the program after the published program start date. Again, every effort is made to present all available options to complete the academic requirements of your program. In instances where you are unable to continue coursework and no academic progress is made, you are entitled to a full UC tuition refund. In such situations, we will be in frequent contact with you.
Should your program be canceled, financial aid would be prorated based off of your dates of attendance. If the program is canceled prior to the start date, no aid will be dispersed. If you decide to withdraw from a program during the program term, check with your financial aid counselor about how your aid would be impacted.
As I mentioned earlier, you'll not be eligible for travel insurance reimbursement for changes to airline tickets, housing, or other trip-related expenses if your program is canceled due to COVID. It's important that you understand the additional financial risks and have the resources to cover unexpected expenses.
While this presentation has provided you with a lot of things to consider, we encourage you to explore the UC EAP website for detailed information about program options, finances, health and safety, and more. You can also visit your UC Campus Study Abroad Office website for information on application steps and deadlines. Once you have determined which program you are going to apply to, you can start an application by selecting the Apply Now button on the UC EAP website. You can also contact the system-wide office for more information. The general email is on this slide. We also offer office hours where you can schedule an appointment to have a video call with an advisor at the system-wide office. The link to make an appointment is in the chat. We want to stress that it's important to be flexible. The status of COVID-19 is constantly evolving. We can't say how things will look a year from now, so this means even the best laid plans could be subject to change. Above all else, please stay safe and continue to follow guidelines for social distancing. As tired as we all may be of staying at home, we want you and your family to remain healthy so that we can welcome you to a study abroad program in the future. So with that, we can turn it over to Q&A. Please feel free to enter any questions into the chat.